Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's April 1st, 2017, April Fool's Day as we call it. If you missed my preview for the Final Four games this morning before either game was played, I explained why 77 was the number, and as you can see, both winning scores, 77 points. We're going to review that, plus we're going to look at a whole lot more. I'm going to tell you why I have deja vu from last year's college championship already. If you missed my work on last year's college basketball championship, I brought up the conversation of, is technology being used to manipulate shots being kept out of the basket and to make them go in? And a lot of people think that's a ridiculous question. But I think tonight we saw more proof that this absolutely is what's going on. Technology is being used. We're going to get to that. Let's begin with the 77s. And again, if you missed the videos and the work I did before the tournament began, March 11th, I put out my first blog post about the tournament. The first thing I wrote is why I thought North Carolina would win the championship this year, avenging their loss last year. That blog post is up. It's from March 11th. I also speculated once the bracket came out that Gonzaga would make it to the championship this year. I said Gonzaga usually has a lot of hype and disappoints, but this year a lot lines up. If there's ever a year for Gonzaga to make it to the championship, it's this year. We have the championship that I first imagined. And again, it's because I know how to read the script of how this whole charade is organized. Collegiate and professional sports are 100% scripted by the numbers as rituals. And while I don't understand the full code, I know enough about it to make pretty educated guesses. So let's begin with 77. Before the games were played, I explained why 77 was the number. After the Gonzaga video, I reminded people that 77 would be the number on this game as well. If you missed the game, North Carolina purposefully missed 4 straight free throws in a row at the end of the game to stay on 77. But let's start with South Carolina and Gonzaga. South Carolina, their nickname is the Gamecocks. The Gamecocks. Remember, they won in the Elite Eight to get to this Final Four game with 77 points. In the case of Gonzaga, it's all about the coach, Mark Few. Mark Few been with the Gonzaga program for a long time. Over in North Carolina, I put out a video after the death of Jerry Krause, the Bulls GM, about 77 in North Carolina. Jerry Krause died 33 days from Michael Jordan's birthday. Michael Jordan won 6 championships on the Bulls with Jerry Krause as the GM. Michael Jordan went to UNC. There's a major synchronicity with Michael Jordan's 54th birthday, which happened February 17th, and this upcoming college championship, which I speculated North Carolina would be in. So anyway, Jerry Krause dead 33 days from Michael Jordan's birthday at age 77. North Carolina 77. As I've been explaining for years, there's ritual murder with all of these sports championships. Happens every single sports championship. There's a ritual murder. College, pro, all sports, every single time. You pay attention, you see what's going on. Jerry Krause dead at 77, the big number on the tournament. The Ducks were the opponent tonight. And anyone who's been watching TV has heard ESPN force the use of the number 77 with the Ducks. They've been doing it the whole tournament. The Ducks won the first college basketball championship in 39. They were the Webfoots back then. I want to show you something about Webfoots. Webfoots equals 39. They won in 39. Also 33, Oregon's the 33rd state. They beat Ohio State Buckeyes in the first men's college basketball tournament, 1939. The Buckeyes lost with 33 points to the Webfoots. These games have been scripted from then up to the present every year to the point. And I explained all of this before the tournament began. So anyone who's still doubting, you don't want to be too slow. Duck, the singular, also has the Gematria of 39, possibly a tribute to Webfoots. Of course, webfoot's what ducks have. So anyhow, that covers the 77. We covered it for all 4 teams. All 4 teams connected to this number. By the way, the Portland Trail Blazers won in Phoenix, Arizona tonight. The Portland Trail Blazers won in Phoenix, Arizona tonight, where the games were played. Portland from the same state, Oregon. And look at the score of this game, 76-77. The Portland Trail Blazers have won the NBA championship one time. They won it in the 76-77 season. And they beat the 76ers. And what's up with Oregon winning in 77 is this right here, Truth Seeker. Oregon's the 33rd state, the only with a gematria of 74. Jesus equals 74. Cross equals 74. Oregon is the only state with a gematria of 74 in the ordinal format. Jesus on the cross at 33. Oregon's the 33rd state, abbreviated OR. You know, their college team used to be the Webfoots. The word Christ equals 77. Jesus Christ. Last year, Villanova won 74-77. Villanova's a Catholic school like Gonzaga. And when they won, it was perfectly synced up with Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, leaving the country on the Jesuit order's birthday. The Jesuits are known as the Society of Jesus. 191 days after the Pope left, who's a Jesuit, who left on the Jesuit order's birthday, Villanova, the Catholic school, won the championship. And Villanova's just outside of Philadelphia. The Pope left the country on the Jesuit order's birthday through Philadelphia. So just to understand the script. One more thing about Society of Jesus. This year is the 79th year of the men's tournament. Society of Jesus 79. We have another Jesuit team in the championship. So look, last year Villanova beat North Carolina 77-74. This is where I want to start my discussion about the North Carolina game. The score was 71-77. An Oregon player hoisted up a 3 that hit on the front of the rim, hit on another part of the rim, bounced, and it looked like it was rolling off, and then it came back in. And the announcers were like, whoa, what a bounce! And then they went to this, backboard cam, and they showed the shot here, and they showed it bounce around and roll and then come in. And I said, what in the world? This is just like last year. Last year, North Carolina's point guard, you can remember, possibly, went down the court, fired up a 3 running like a line drive 3, and it rattled in. And it tied the game at 74-74 with exactly 4.7 seconds left. And last year, if you watch my preview video, I talked about 47-74 before the game. I showed why they were the big numbers on the game, and people were freaking out last year, just like they're freaking out right now about 77. They said, oh my God, these are the exact numbers you called. Last year I called the numbers on the score. This year I've done it in a million other sports, a million other times before. Well, not really a million, but I've only been doing this for 3 years, but I just keep doing this. Championships calling them, the numbers calling them. It's because they're all scripted and you pay attention to what clues are being given. You can figure out the numbers. So anyway, last year they tied the score 74-74 with 4.7 left. And if you watch the video, I have a video linked. Oh, I'll show you where the video's at in a minute. I have a video link from last year. You can watch how when he hits the Miracle 3, the clock runs down to something like 4.2, 4.3. But they bring it back and they reset it at 4.7 with a 74-74 score. Again, before the game was played, I was talking about the Pope and the Catholic Church and Christianity. The word Christian's 47, the word Vatican's 47. We just talked about Jesus and Cross, 74. Messiah's 74. Gospel's 74. Masonic 74. Jewish 74. Roman Catholic or Roman Catholicism, one of them 74. 74, this special number. Christianity 74. So anyway, here we go again. Miracle shot, weird rolling around on the rim, and then it comes through and the clock is just dead right at 42. Check this out. Again, Oregon equals 74, and if you write out 42, it also sums to 74. 74, 42 seconds left. Today's date has 42 numerology, April 1st, 2017. 4 plus 1 plus 20 plus 17, 42. Earlier today, Gonzaga won from the 42nd state. The word Jesuit has Gematria 42. North Carolina last year lost with this score, 77-74. North Carolina, a lot of their players from the Charlotte area, the 704 area code, kind of like 74. Last year when the score was 74-74 with 4.7 left, I pointed out how Magnets had Gematria 474. For a number of years, for decades, Hollywood movies have joked about basketball and magnets and cheating. You know, you have the movie Michael Jordan Space Jam where he's golfing and there's magnets to make sure his ball goes in. I don't know if it's magnets or some other type of technology, but I am quite certain somehow, some way, there has been something figured out to manipulate to make sure these balls either go in or stay out when they need to. Because what I've been documenting is for years, NBA and college games have been scripted to the point. You know? I mean, here's all the proof. Today, making multiple videos about 77 and even weeks before, and the two deciding games to go to the championship. 77 points to win it. So at the end, Oregon would score, making it 76-77 on an inside lay-in. They would have to foul North Carolina players. The foul to send them in the line was with 5.8 seconds left. Again, that's a special number to Freemasonry. We're going to talk more about that. It's also relevant to the Ducks. Oregon, the 33rd state. Very special number to Freemasonry, 33. Freemasonry. Ducks, both 58, 5.8 on the left, 5.8 seconds left. Kennedy Meeks took the line, and before this game was over, I noticed something about Kennedy Meeks. It was very clear how this game was scripted for Kennedy Meeks to dominate. His teammates were purposefully hoisting up bricks. He's a big man, one of the biggest men out there. His team was just hoisting up bricks so that he could get all these offensive rebounds and all these putbacks, which he did all night. He had a lot of points, a lot of offensive rebounds. He must have had near 10 offensive rebounds. I haven't even looked at the box score. But it was just also obvious, just shooting bricks on purpose so that he could get all these putbacks. Clear script for him. I'm going to show you what's so special about Kennedy Meeks in terms of University of North Carolina. He's from Charlotte, local. Show you something about him and the championship. Joel Berry, this guy knocked in the 71st point of the night, and right away I had to go look at his birthday. I was like, oh, I guarantee his birthday is going to be special with this championship, because 71's a huge number. We'll get to it. But I had to laugh when I looked up his birthday. Today's his birthday. It's his birthday today, advancing to the championship. Him and Kennedy Meeks went to the free throw line at the end of the game, and they missed 4 straight free throws to make sure they stayed on 77. And it was so obvious that he missed on purpose. His last one, he pushed off to the right with just horrible form. It was just so clear. I mean, it's just a joke. And this is what I've been explaining to people for a long time. The college players and the pros, they're all in on it. It's so obvious. And all of you who don't understand why people would dupe you for fame, for money, for sex, for all the things that come for doing this, I mean, you guys must have never gotten out of your house. You must not know much about the world. All right, so moving on, before I forget, the Ducks also had 58 attempts from the floor, just like how Ducks equals 58, like Freemasonry. It's why I so often say these games are scripted not only to the final score, but they're also scripted to the box score. You look at these box scores, you find a lot more. Like UNC scoring 39 in the first half, Arizona equals 39, connects to Dean Smith, who won the championship in 93. This year, the championship's on the 93rd day of the year. They scored 38 points in the second quarter. Oregon equals 38, who they defeated. 22 for 58 is also funny because 22 is the basketball number. Basketball has gematria of 22 and 85 with the S exception 31. Remember, last year, Villanova won for the second time in their program history, 31 years since 85 when they won last. 31 years later. 85 is the year they started the term March Madness, and they had 64 teams. We're about to talk about the man who turned 22 today, who scored the 71st point, Mr. Barry, Joel Barry. Joel Barry, when he hit 71, I said to my girlfriend, I said, that guy's birthday is going to be huge with today's game. I said, it might even be 71 days from today. But then when I looked it up, I had to laugh because, again, it was today. It was April Fool's Day he turned 22. Last year, again, the Villanova point guard turned 22 for their upset for Kansas. So anyway, he knocked in the 71st point. He was 1 for 10 before he made the three. He was one of the guys that was purposefully shooting bricks all night, essentially as assists to Meeks, their big man who cleaned up, who we're about to get to. But point 71, March Madness 71, Gonzaga Bulldogs 71, Catholic 71. It was a good day to have a birthday, too. Today has 42 numerology, the word birthday 42. There's an overlap between Freemason and Master Builder. Check this out. The word Freemason has gematria of 42 and 147. The Freemasons are builders. The word Master Builder has the gematria of 147. Number 22 is the Master Builder number. Again, Tubal Cain, Genesis 4:22. 4:22. The Freemasons say that is the first Freemason from the Bible. And this stuff is always biblical, because this is all Freemasonry, and Freemasonry is based in the history of the Old Testament. So, final score 77-76 because of the 4 straight missed free throws. The final score 153 points, like Holy Bible, like the 153 fish in the miraculous catch. 153 often paired with 42. Today's date has 42 numerology. Again, the word fish equals 42, like New Testament, which is where the story of Jesus is. The story of Jesus, the story of the miraculous catch of fish. 42, 153 fish. See what I'm saying? Hey, real quick, I also just realized there was something I meant to tell you a second ago. Basketball also has this 68 connection. Look at how many shots North Carolina had. 25 of 68. 25, a big number. Been talking about 25, the Carolinas trump. Kendrick Meeks, who we're about to talk about next, his birthday was Super Bowl 51 date, 2/5, with the record 25-point comeback, something I talked about before it even happened. Here we go. So here, let's talk about Kendrick Meeks now. I noticed this about Kendrick Meeks while the game was going on. As he just kept getting all these offensive rebounds and putbacks, I was like, this whole storyline's around him. I wrote this, midway through the second half. But I looked at his birthday and I said, okay, he was born on the Super Bowl. Remember, right after the Super Bowl, I said this in my first preview video. I said right after the Super Bowl, they put up this stat about Gonzaga being 28-3 in something. And I didn't even care what it was in because I just said, 28-3, huh? It was just right after the Super Bowl when the Patriots came back from 28-3, a 25-point comeback. It was Tom Brady's 25th playoff win. It was the AFC's 25th Super Bowl on 2/5. It was the 97th season of the NFL. 97's the 25th prime. All scripting. Anyhow. 25, the number connected to Trump. Trump equals 25. Trump won big in the Carolinas. I said before the tournament began, these same numbers were going to show up in this championship. Oh, and I didn't finish my thought a second ago. When the Patriots came back from 28-3, the halftime performer was Lady Gaga, born March 28th, 28/3. And also, the day Tom Brady came back from his suspension and beat Cleveland with 33 points, giving Bill Belichick his 227th career win where he began his career in Cleveland. From that day to the Super Bowl was 119 days. But anyway, the day he came back, that night, The Simpsons episode was called The Town. It was about Tom Brady and the Patriots. It was season 28, episode 3. 28-3. 28-3 comeback. Again, undeniable evidence how your sports are scripted, and it's all scripted together, and it's Manchurian athletes born on specific dates. We're going to see this with Kennedy Meeks. Here's another test tube baby or act of purposeful breeding. That's what Kennedy Meeks is, and that's why he got the big tribute tonight, because it's really not about Kennedy Meeks. It's about the Freemasons who are farming human beings as cattle to play in collegiate and professional sports, which is absolutely what they're doing, and they are making fun of their brain-dead, drunk fans along the way. Did you guys see that the Army team the other year had a running back named Timothy McVeigh? And I'm pretty sure they had him wearing number 42. Timothy fucking McVeigh. Only in the United States of amnesia can people get away with this shit. Ha ha Clinton. And then they change his name in his second year being in the NFL. Ha ha Clinton Dix. Ha ha. Do you get it? Clinton blowjobs. Ha ha. Mocking the goy. If you don't know about Freemasonry, it all comes back to Judaism. And if you don't know about Judaism, it all comes back to the Talmud. And if you read the Talmud, it's all about how the Jews are the greatest people ever. And everyone else is a stupid-ass goy who's meant to be a slave and meant to be abused and manipulated and mocked and made fun of. That's why you got ha-ha Clinton Dix for all you drunk fucking idiots that watch NFL football and don't know how scripted it is. And here, understand, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to make you think and pull your fucking head out of your ass. You know, I'm tired of, living in a nation of morons. I was 7 years old when I figured out that sports were rigged and scripted. I didn't know they were scripted like this, but I was 7 when I was convinced that sports weren't legit. And it was all from watching the Portland Trailblazers. I'm from Portland, Oregon. At 7 years old, I had it figured out. The refs were in control of the game, not the players, And I don't know what's wrong with the rest of humanity. I had figured out at 7 what most people can't figure out their whole life somehow. And it couldn't be any more obvious. It's always been this obvious. So anyway, Kennedy Meeks. His full name's Kennedy Rashad Meeks, right? Which equals 79. This year's the 79th men's tournament. The word champion, 79. The name Kennedy's 33. Phoenix down on the 33rd parallel, always a special number. In fact, I better tell you what 33 has to do with champion. Champion equals 137, which is the 33rd prime. This year, the basketball championship is in, actually it's in Glendale, which even equals 33, but it's on the 33rd parallel. Phoenix, Arizona is a good city for a basketball championship. Phoenix, Arizona equals 85, like basketball. 33rd parallel. Let's see. So this guy, Kennedy Meeks, also 22 years old. He's 79, 79th tournament. 79 is the 22nd prime. His teammate, him and his teammate missed the final 4 free throws to advance in the final 4. If Oregon could have rebounded the ball, they could have won the game, but that's just what it is. It's all scripted. And that's just how you can see everybody's in on it. Just think about it. 4 missed free throws. Oregon can't rebound either opportunity. It just doesn't make sense, you guys. I mean, if these are the best basketball players in the world, they know how to box out. You don't forget to box out in basketball. It's just what you do. It's a natural reflex. I mean, you have to be trained in your head as a basketball player not to box out. So, the name Kennedy Meeks also has the Gematria 58, like Freemasonry, like the Ducks who they defeated. From his birthday to the championship is a span of 58 days. It's also 57 days later, and remember, 57's our number super related to championships. The Patriots, who won the Super Bowl, won it in their 57th season. And just in case you're new here, so you can appreciate this, watch this number right here, the ordinal one. If you write out 57, it sums to the same thing as championship. Sums to the same thing as Super Bowl. With regards to 57, World Series has the Gematria 57. Remember last year, Villanova won the championship in their 57th tournament win all time. They won one game this year and then lost, so they have 58 tournament wins right now. But World Series, 57. NBA Finals, 57. The Cavs finished the regular season with 57 wins last year. See my work on the Cubs in 57 last year. You know, Sears Tower, or no, that's not what it's called. Willis Tower, what they renamed it. Willis Tower equals 57. It's 108 stories tall. I said last year in spring training why the Cubs would win the World Series 108 years after the drought. Major League 108. Willis Tower 108 stories tall. 108 double stitches on a baseball. Hey, baseball starts tomorrow, you guys, just for kicks. Major League Baseball 162. Check out Baseball 162. Let me bring up my Sumerian Gematria, MLB 162, as well as 54. Like baseball, 54, 54. You see? If you don't follow baseball, there's 162 games in a season. The team that's won the most ever, the Yankees have won 27 World Series. You know, 27 outs per team in a complete game. 54 total outs in a complete game. In the NBA, the Celtics have won 17 championships, the most, NBA 17. You see how this works? Scripted sports. It's a definite. It's not a maybe. Don't come to my channel and tell me that maybe I'm right. That's the same as writing, I'm a fucking retard. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the person who comes to one of my videos and writes, maybe you're right. You might as well write, I am fucking retarded in regards to yourself if you think maybe I'm right. So the whole time I've been here, I've called almost every sports championship again to the number. I mean, it's unprecedented. People think maybe I'm right. It's just unreal to me. It's unreal. So hold up. Kennedy Meeks, we're not done yet. Kennedy Meeks in Gematria also sums to the same thing as University of North Carolina. And I actually talked about this last year. 193 is the 44th prime. The championship last year was on a date with 44 numerology. It is again this year. Will North Carolina win it this year, beating a Jesuit Catholic school, whereas last year they lost to a Catholic school? One of the other star players on North Carolina is Justin Jackson. Been talking about him the last 2 years, all the tributes he gets. He put in the 74th points tonight. He's also 22 years old. It will be his 10th day of being 22, the day of the championship. 10 has the Gematria of 39, like Charlotte, like Dean Smith. Just show you real quick. 10. Charlotte. I almost went to a different one. Arizona. Dean Smith. You know, the championship's in Arizona. It's in Glendale, which also has the 39 connection. A lot of 39 there. It's also on the 93rd day of the year, and we're talking about Justin Jackson. Justin, one of the stars, makes a lot of big buckets. I've documented time and time again how he knocks in the 44th points for North Carolina. He does it all the time. In the Elite Eight, he had a 4-point play that took the score from 40 to 44, and he wears number 44. The name Justin Jackson also has Gematria of 40. You know, in the Elite Eight, he took the score from 40 to 44 on a rare 4-point play to advance to the Final Four. It's truly all this scripted. So again, both winners today, 77 points. Tonight, the night Oregon lost in Arizona right outside of Phoenix, the Blazers beat the Suns. The Blazers improved their record to 38-38 tonight. 38-38. Remember, the Oregon Webfoots won the first men's tournament in the 38-39 season. You just see how it's all scripted together. The NBA is scripted together. The college is scripted together. It's a script. None of these games are legitimate. And with regard to the Tar Heels beating Oregon, I almost forgot this. Oregon also has the Gematria of 88 like Tar Heels. Last year in the college championship, the Tar Heels averaged 88 points per game going into the championship. So about this, very weird three-pointer that rolled in, making the score 74-77 with 42 seconds left. Watch my video last year. Just search Zachary K. Hubbard, Villanova, Magnets. It'll come up. Go back and see that shot that went in. I show the play of the clip in that video. With regards to 77 being the number, I want to talk more about 77, and there's people been writing this now the whole time I've proposed the magnets theory. They've said, Zach, it's not technology, it's not magnets, it's spiritual dark magic. And, I'm an open-minded person. To me, technology seems more believable, But is there dark occult magic that is making all of these sports work perfectly by the numbers? Was it dark magic that made the ball roll back in the hole? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's possible. And the reason I'm bringing that up right now is because I'm going to explain something to you. Francis Bacon. Some people say Francis Bacon is Shakespeare. Francis Bacon is who led the Rosicrucian movement, which is related to the Jesuits. The Rosicrucians were at the beginning of the 17th century, the early 1600s. That's when the King James Version of the Bible was written. What the Rosicrucians were all about was bringing the occult, esoteric, the magic of the world, and essentially hybridizing it with Christianity. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about, these Christian tributes and numbers in these routine sports games, time after time, and truly magical things happening that don't make sense and that seem to defy logic, and also balls getting really weird rolls and falling through the hoop. Is this possible? Is there really magic in this world? If there is it being used in sports to manipulate the things that we're all witnessing and not fully understanding? It's possible. It's possible. So I just want to make this point about the Rosicrucians and 77 and secret societies. Rosicrucian means Rose Cross. Rosicrucian equals 58, just like Rose Cross, just like Freemasonry, like secret society. Rosicrucian and secret society also share the Gematria of 77. And Francis Bacon, he was known as Lord Bacon. The word Lord equals 49. He died April 9th. He died at age 65. Knights Templar equals 65, which is also all part of this. It's all part of the Masonic web. He died 77 days after his birthday. 77 days. Like Rosicrucian, like secret society. He died on a date with 55 numerology connected to satanic sacrifice. He called America, some people say that Francis Bacon is the whole reason the United States of America exists. And Lord Bacon equals 84 like United States of America, like Jesuit, like Masonry, like Zionism. This special number, big number on this tournament. Some people say Lord Bacon's the reason that this nation exists. It was him who urged Queen Elizabeth to fund what became the settlement of the Americas. Some people say without Lord Bacon, there would have never been a United States of America. It's possible that this guy is like the kingpin of everything that we see going on. This might be the guy who perfected the English language. He was living at the time English became the language that we now speak. He's said to have written the King James Bible, which is coded to the teeth by the numbers. You never seen my work on the coding in the Bible? You got to check it out. But this is what these people were about. So it's something deeper going on here. He called America New Atlantis. Also, Bavarian Illuminati, established May 1st, 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, just before the American Revolution. In fact, 64 days before the American Revolution. The word American equals 64. Adam Weishaupt will die on the 322nd day of the year. He would die not only on the 322nd day of the year, but he would die on a date with 77 numerology. 77. John Adam Weishaupt, 77. established one of the most famous secret societies, the Bavarian Illuminati, or what people call the Illuminati, just before the American Revolution. And real quick, I want to show you this post with regards to him dying on the 322nd day of the year. And we're talking about esoteric knowledge, the occult, magic. All secret societies are based on what are known as the ancient mystery religions, going back to the Babylonians, the Egyptians, all the old world knowledge. Ancient mystery religions has Gematria of 322. Very important number to Freemasonry, the Zionists. 322, 223. There's a reason Skull and Bones identifies by this number, and this is probably most definitely it. You know, as we also talked about, the most important mathematician to the Freemasons is Euclid of Alexandria, which is also another 322. So anyway, all of this stuff that we're looking at, this stuff is thousands of years old. Back in the day, people used to believe in magic, and you know what? I shouldn't even say back in the day. Depending on where you live in the world, people still believe in magic. Honestly, my girlfriend, she's from Burma. She believes in magic, or she wouldn't use the word believe. She would say she knows magic's real because back where she comes from, there's medicine people that, you know, only they can do certain things. They just mix some shit together and all of a sudden somebody gets healthy. So, you know, my girlfriend is someone who could tell you that she's seen what real magic is. Those of us in the U.S., we've all been taught to think that magic's this, you know, thing in Disney movies. And even myself, I said earlier in this video, I still lean more towards the technology. That's all part of how I've been educated and programmed too. I don't know how to perform magic, well, at least not knowingly. And that's not to say other people don't. So many Americans think that way. They're like, well, I never heard of that, so it doesn't matter. That's like an American thought. But just because you don't know about something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, or it hasn't happened, or it's not real. So always keep an open mind. Eventually, one day, we're gonna unscrew this and figure out exactly how it's all being done. But the scripting is there, no doubt. The refs are in on it. The coaches are in on it. The players are definitely in on it. For all of you who hound me about saying there's no way these players would be on it, I mean, just watch the 4 missed free throws at the end of tonight's game and then stick a sock in it. So I've said enough, Truth Seeker. Probably too much. I can always be a little wordy. Until next time.